team, check. Radio check.
Bravo 2, loud and clear.
Charlie 3, copy.
Echo 5, good signal. All right, moving.
Lieutenant, I'm losing you. My radio just died.
Same here. Battery's full, no transmit.
Hold up, everyone check.
The GPS just went dark, all of them.
All right, compass is only 30 minutes in, then we...
Check this out. Old sign. It says, I think it says H something Hollow Trail. I can't read the first word. It's not on all trails, not on Gaia, nothing. It drops straight down into there. Even at noon, no light down there. It smells like an old basement. I could go, but yeah, not today.
Hello? Anyone down there? Hello? Anyone down there?
Hunter! Mr. Alton!
September 17th, 2019, 11:47 p.m., Breathe It County, Kentucky, body cam footage, Deputy Sheriff Nathan Cole. Top 5. Dispatch, this is Unit 4. I'm at the staging area on Route 15 near the Jackson City limits. Search and Rescue Coordinator is requesting law enforcement presence before sending teams into Troublesome Creek Hollow. Something about the last team that went in. They're refusing to go back. Any additional information? The radio crackles and hisses before Margie's voice comes through, tired and cautious in a way I've learned to recognize over 12 years of service. Affirmative 4. The initial search team entered the hollow at 600 hours this morning, looking for a missing hiker. They came out at 1400 hours, all 6 members. But Nathan, they won't talk. They won't say what they saw. 3 of them have already submitted resignation letters. 1 of them is in the hospital. Psychiatric hold. What happened in there? That's what we need you to find out. The search coordinator is a woman named Patricia Vance, 20-year veteran of Kentucky search and rescue, the kind of person who has seen everything these mountains can throw at a human being and kept going. When I pull up to the staging area, she's sitting on the tailgate of her truck, staring at the tree line like it might attack her at any moment. Patricia, I say, what's going on? She doesn't look at me. Just keeps staring at those trees, at the darkness between them, at the hollow that opens up beyond like a mouth waiting to swallow anyone foolish enough to enter. We found him, she says. Her voice is flat, empty, like something has been scooped out of her and hasn't been replaced yet. The missing hiker, Daniel Morrison, 24 years old, from Lexington. We found him about 2 miles in. That should be good news. She shakes her head, slow, deliberate, like even that small movement costs her something. He was sitting in a clearing, cross-legged, hands on his knees, eyes open. He'd been missing for 6 days, Nathan. 6 days without food, without water, without shelter. He should have been dead, he should have been a corpse. But he was sitting there, waiting. She finally looks at me. Her eyes are wrong, too wide, too much white showing. The eyes of someone who has seen something that the human mind wasn't designed to process. He was waiting for us, she says. He knew we were coming. He knew our names, all of our names. He said, she trails off. Can't finish. What did he say, Patricia? She takes a breath, steadies herself, forces the words out through a throat that doesn't want to produce them. He said the hollow told him we were coming. He said the hollow knows everyone who enters. He said the hollow has been collecting people for a very long time, and it wanted to show us the collection. She starts crying. Silent tears running down weathered cheeks, the tears of someone who has spent 2 decades being strong and has finally encountered something stronger. We ran, she says. All of us. We left him there and we ran. We ran until we couldn't breathe, until we couldn't think, until we were out of that hollow and back in sunlight, and even then, it didn't feel like enough. It still doesn't feel like enough. I look at the tree line, at the hollow beyond, at the darkness that seems deeper than it should be, that seems to pulse with something like awareness, something like hunger, something like patience. What about the hiker, Daniel Morrison? She shakes her head again. We're not going back for him. Nobody's going back for him. He's part of the collection now. He said so himself. He said he was finally home. Troublesome Creek Hollow has been removed from all search and rescue protocols. The official reason is hazardous terrain and limited access. The real reason is kept in files that nobody acknowledges, passed down from coordinator to coordinator, a warning that gets whispered but never written. The Hollow collects people. It always has, and it doesn't like giving them back. Daniel Morrison was declared dead 6 months later. Death in absentia, cause unknown. His family held a memorial service in Lexington. They buried an empty casket. But sometimes hikers on Route 15 report seeing a young man sitting at the edge of the tree line near Troublesome Creek, cross-legged, hands on his knees, eyes open, waiting, always waiting. For the next person the Hollow decides to keep. Top 4, March 3rd, 2021, 2:15 a.m., McDowell County, West Virginia. Audio recording. Search and Rescue Team Leader Marcus Webb. I'm making this recording because my team refuses to file an official report, and someone needs to know what happened in Elkhorn Hollow, what we found there, what found us. My name is Marcus Webb. I've been leading search and rescue operations in McDowell County for 15 years. I've pulled bodies out of mine shafts, recovered drowning victims from the Tug Fork River, searched for lost children in terrain that would challenge a mountain goat. I thought I'd seen everything these mountains could offer. I was wrong. The search began on March 1st. A family of 4, the Hendersons, went camping in the Elkhorn Creek area and failed to return on schedule. Standard missing persons protocol. We assembled a team of 8 experienced searchers and entered the Hollow at first light. Elkhorn Hollow has a reputation. Everyone in McDowell County knows it. People go in and don't come out. Bodies turn up in places they shouldn't be. Sounds echo through. The trees at night that don't match any animal in the region. But we're professionals. We don't let superstition interfere with our work. We had a job to do. We found the Henderson campsite around noon. Tents still standing, food still in the cooler, no signs of struggle or animal activity. Just empty. Like the family had stepped out for a moment and never came back. We split into pairs and began a standard spiral search pattern. I partnered with a woman named Sarah Chen, 10 years of experience. One of the most capable people I've ever worked with. We took the northern sector, working our way deeper into the Hollow. That's when we found the first marker. It was a cairn, a pile of stones, carefully stacked, about 3 feet high. Not unusual in itself. Hikers build cairns all the time, but this one had something on top of it. A photograph. A photograph of a young woman, maybe early 20s, smiling at the camera. On the back, a date, August 17th, 1987, and a name, Jennifer Morrison. I didn't recognize the name, but something about that photograph made my skin crawl. The way the woman was smiling, the way her eyes seemed to follow me as I moved, the way the photograph was pristine, unfaded, like it had been placed there yesterday instead of 34 years ago. We kept walking. We found more cairns, dozens of them, each one with a photograph. Each photograph showing a different person, different ages, different eras. The oldest photograph we found appeared to be, from the early 1900s, a formal portrait of a man in a suit, sepia-toned and cracking at the edges. The most recent was dated 2019. All the photographs had names on the back. All the photographs showed people who were smiling. All the photographs were arranged facing the same direction, deeper into the Hollow, towards something at the center. We should have turned back. We should have called for backup. We should have done anything except what we actually did, which was to keep following the trail of photographs. Keep walking toward whatever had collected them. Keep moving deeper into Elkhorn Hollow. We found the center around 4 p.m. It's hard to describe what we saw there. My mind keeps trying to rationalize it, to fit it into categories that make sense. But it doesn't fit. It refuses to fit. There was a structure. Not a building, exactly. More like something that had grown out of the earth itself, stone and wood and something else, something organic, twisted together into a shape that suggested architecture without actually being architecture, and covering every surface of that structure were photographs, hundreds of them, thousands, photographs of people, all smiling, all facing outward, all watching us with eyes that seemed too aware for frozen images. In the center of the structure, sitting in what might have been a chair, or might have been a throne, or might have been something else entirely, was a figure. I can't describe the figure. Every time I try, my mind slides away. From the memory, refuses to hold on to the details. I remember impressions, height, too much height for the space it occupied, limbs that didn't match human proportions, a face that was and wasn't there, features that rearranged themselves when you weren't looking directly at them, and eyes that were every eye in every photograph, looking at us from 1,000 different faces, from 100 years of collected moments. It spoke to us, not with sound, with something else, words that appeared directly in our thoughts, bypassing our ears entirely. You came looking for the missing, it said. You found them. They're all here. They've always been here. They're part of my collection now, just like you will be. Someday. When you're ready. When you're ripe. Sarah ran first. Then I ran. We didn't stop until we were out of the hollow, until we were in our vehicles, until we were miles away, and still not feeling safe, still not feeling like we'd truly escaped. We found the Hendersons the next day, all 4 of them walking out of the hollow on their own, smiling, saying they'd had a wonderful camping trip, saying they couldn't understand what all the fuss was about. They don't remember the 3 days they were missing. They don't remember the hollow. They just smile and say everything is fine. But sometimes when the light hits their eyes at certain angles, I see something else looking out at me, something patient, something hungry, something that's waiting for them to be ready, for them to be ripe. Elkhorn Hollow has been removed from all search and rescue protocols. The official reason is budget constraints and limited resources. The real reason is that none of us will ever go back there. The thing in the center is still collecting, and we don't want to be next. Top 3, July 19, 2017, 11:59 p.m., Letcher County, Kentucky. Bodycam footage, Kentucky State Police Sergeant David Patterson. I'm Sergeant David Patterson, Kentucky State Police, Post 13. I'm recording this because Command has ordered me to lead a search team into Defeated Creek Hollow tomorrow morning, and I need someone to know what happened the last time law enforcement entered that hollow. It was 1987. I was a rookie, just 6 months out of the academy. A family had gone missing near Defeated Creek, and the sheriff organized a search party. 12 of us went in. 8 of us came out. The 4 who didn't come out were never found. No bodies, no evidence, no explanation. They just vanished like the hollow had swallowed them whole. I was one of the 8 who survived. I've never talked about what I saw in there. None of us have. We made a pact, the 8 of us, to never speak of it, to never write it down, to never acknowledge that it happened, because what we saw doesn't fit into any category of reality that allows for normal life afterward. But now Command wants me to go back. A new missing persons case. A hiker who entered Defeated Creek 3 days ago and hasn't been seen since. Standard search and rescue, standard protocols, standard everything. Except nothing is standard about Defeated Creek Hollow. The hollow is old, older than the county, older than Kentucky, older than any human presence in these mountains. The Cherokee avoided it. They had a name for it that roughly translates to the place where the earth is hungry. They said spirits lived there, spirits that weren't good or evil in the human sense, just hungry. Always hungry. When we went in back in 1987, we found the missing family within the first hour. All of them, sitting in a circle in a clearing holding hands, their eyes open but seeing nothing. They were alive but not responsive, catatonic, like their minds had gone somewhere else and left their bodies behind. We tried to move them. The moment we touched them, they started screaming. All 4 of them, simultaneously, the same scream, the same pitch, the same words repeated over and over. It sees us. It sees us. It sees us. Then the hollow responded. That's the only way I can describe it. The hollow itself responded. The trees moved, not in wind. There was no wind. They moved on their own, branches reaching toward us, trunks twisting, roots pulling up from the earth like legs preparing to walk. The ground shifted beneath our feet. The sky, visible through the canopy, changed color. Not clouds. The sky itself, turning from blue to something else, something that hurt to look at, something that suggested depths and distances that human perception wasn't built to comprehend. And in the center of the clearing, rising from the earth like it was being born from the soil itself, something appeared. It was vast. That's what I remember most clearly. Vastness. A sense of scale that dwarfed everything around it. that made the trees look like grass, that made us look like insects. It didn't have a fixed form. It kept changing, shifting, becoming different things in rapid succession. A face, a hand, a mouth, a void, an eye. All of them and none of them, cycling through possibilities faster than my mind could track. 4 of us ran toward it. I don't know why. I don't think they knew why. They just ran, like something was pulling them, like they couldn't help themselves. They ran toward it and it opened, or they opened, or reality opened, and then they were gone. Not dead. Gone. Removed from existence like they had never been there at all. The rest of us ran the other way. Ran until we were out of the hollow, until we were in our vehicles, until we were miles away and still running. The missing family was found the next day, walking out of the hollow on their own, smiling, saying they'd had a nice camping trip. They don't remember the catatonia. They don't remember the screaming. They don't remember the 4 officers who vanished trying to save them. The official report says the 4 missing officers got lost in difficult terrain and were never recovered. The official report is a lie, a necessary lie, because the truth would destroy everyone who heard it. Tomorrow morning I'm going back into Defeated Creek Hollow. Command has ordered it. Protocol demands it. The missing hiker deserves a search effort, even in a place that no one should ever enter. I'm bringing a team of 6 volunteers. All of them have been briefed on the official history. None of them know the real history. None of them know what I know. I'm not going to tell them. If I told them, they wouldn't go. And if they don't go, I have to go. Alone. And I can't go alone. I can't face that hollow by myself. I'm not strong enough. So I'm bringing them with me. I'm leading 6 people into a place that might consume them, that might erase them from existence, that might do things to them that I don't have words for. I'm doing it because I have no choice. I'm doing it because someone has to search for the missing. I'm doing it because that's the job. If we don't come back, this recording will serve as evidence of what happened. This recording will prove that Defeated Creek Hollow is real, that the things inside it are real, that the danger is real. This recording will be my confession and my apology to the 6 people I'm about to lead into something I don't understand, to their families who may never see them again, to myself for breaking the pact I made 30 years ago. The hollow is waiting. It's been waiting for a long time. And tomorrow, we're going to give it what it wants. God forgive me. Supplemental recording. Dated July 22, 2017. Sergeant Patterson and his team entered Defeated Creek Hollow on July 20th at 0600 hours. Contact was lost at approximately 8:47 hours. Emergency transponders activated at 0912 hours, then went silent. A secondary search team refused to enter the hollow after reaching the perimeter. All 7 members of Patterson's team were declared missing as of July 21st. On July 22nd, at approximately 14:30 hours, Sergeant Patterson walked out of Defeated Creek Hollow alone. He was found by hikers on Route 7, approximately 3 miles from the hollow entrance. He was uninjured but non-responsive. He has not spoken since his recovery. Medical evaluation indicates no physical trauma, but profound psychological damage. Sergeant Patterson currently resides in a long-term care facility in Lexington. He responds to external stimuli but does not communicate. He spends most of his time drawing the same image over and over, hundreds of times, a shape that doesn't match any known form, surrounded by smaller shapes that might be human figures, all of them facing inward, all of them reaching toward the center. The 6 members of his search team have never been found. Defeated Creek Hollow has been permanently removed from all search and rescue protocols. The hollow remains closed to public access. The official reason is environmental contamination. The real reason dies with everyone who knows it. Top 2. November 8, 2022, 3:33 a.m. Wise County, Virginia. Multi-source. Compilation, Designated Incident Report, Guest River Hollow. This report has been compiled from multiple sources, including body cam footage, emergency radio transmissions, helicopter surveillance, and testimony from surviving witnesses. It documents the largest search and rescue disaster in Virginia state history, a disaster that has been classified at the state level and will never appear in any public record. On November 6, 2022, a group of 12 hikers entered Guest River Hollow in the Jefferson National Forest. They were experienced outdoors people, well-equipped, following established trails. They should have emerged at the Breaks Interstate Park Visitor Center by nightfall. They never arrived. Standard search protocols were initiated on November 7th. 3 teams, totaling 24 searchers, entered the hollow from different access points. Radio contact was maintained for the first 4 hours. Then, at approximately 1400 hours, all 3 teams reported the same thing. Simultaneously, they had found the hikers, all 12 of them, sitting in a circle in a clearing approximately 2 miles from the established trail. The hikers were alive, but unresponsive, catatonic. Their eyes were open, but they weren't seeing anything in the physical world. They were seeing something else, something that made them smile. All of them, smiling the same smile at the same time, looking at something only they could perceive. The search teams attempted extraction. They tried to move the hikers to carry them out of the hollow. The moment they touched the first hiker, the radios died. All of them simultaneously across all 3 teams. 24 radios going silent at the exact same moment. Helicopter surveillance was dispatched from the Wise County Airport. What the helicopter crew observed has been classified. The official report mentions equipment malfunction and inconclusive imagery. The crew members themselves have refused to discuss what they saw. 2 of them resigned from the Virginia State Police within a week of the incident. One of them is currently receiving treatment for severe PTSD at a VA facility in Richmond. At approximately 16:30 hours, the search teams began to emerge from the hollow. Not all of them. 17 of the 24 searchers walked out under their own power. They were confused, disoriented, missing hours of time they couldn't account for. They remembered entering the hollow. They remembered finding the hikers. They didn't remember anything after that. The 7 searchers who didn't walk out have never been found. The 12 hikers who didn't walk out have never been found. 19 people vanished into Guest River Hollow, erased from existence as completely as if they had never been born. The search for the missing was called off after 48 hours. No search teams would enter the hollow. Volunteers refused. Professional rescue personnel refused. Even military personnel, brought in from Fort Belvoir, refused after their commanding officer conducted a preliminary assessment and declared the hollow a no-go zone. The official story attributes the disappearances to a series of unfortunate accidents: flash flooding, terrain collapse, natural hazards that claimed victims before rescue could arrive. The official story is a lie. I know because I was one of the 17 who walked out. I know because I've spent every night since then dreaming about what I saw in that clearing, what I felt when I touched the hiker's shoulder, what happened in the hours I can't remember. The hollow took something from me. I don't know what. I don't know how. But I'm not the same person who walked in on November 7th. None of us are. We're missing pieces, memories, feelings, parts of ourselves that the hollow kept, that it added to its collection, that it uses for purposes we can't comprehend. Guest River Hollow is closed now, permanently. Armed guards at every access point, surveillance cameras monitoring. The perimeter around the clock, not to keep people out, to watch for whatever might come out, because the hollow isn't just collecting anymore, it's growing. Ground-penetrating radar shows changes in the terrain that don't match any geological process. The hollow is expanding inch by inch, year by year, pushing its boundaries outward like a living thing, like something that's getting ready to move. The 19 people it took in 2022 weren't the first. Records going back to the 1800s document at least 200 disappearances in and around Guest River Hollow. Some of them were attributed to accidents, some to foul play, some to simple cases of people getting lost and never finding their way home. All of them were the hollow, feeding, growing, preparing. For what, I don't know. I don't want to know. I just know that someday the hollow won't be contained in that valley anymore. Someday the guards and the cameras and the fences won't be enough. Someday Guest River Hollow will come. To us, and when it does, there won't be anywhere left to run. Top 1, June 21st, 2024, 11:59 p.m., Bell County, Kentucky. Final transmission, Multi-Agency Task Force Omega. This is Commander Sarah Mitchell, Task Force Omega, transmitting on emergency frequency 97.5. If anyone receives this transmission, do not attempt rescue. Do not send additional teams. Do not enter Fern Lake Hollow under any circumstances. This is our final report. Task Force Omega was assembled in response to the escalating pattern of disappearances across Appalachian hollows over the past decade. FBI, ATF, National Guard, state and local law enforcement, all contributing personnel to a unified effort to understand what was happening in these locations and how to stop it. We identified Fern Lake Hollow as the primary site, the epicenter, the place where the activity was strongest, where the disappearances were most frequent, where the evidence suggested something was not just collecting people but preparing for something larger. We entered the hollow at 600 hours this morning, 47 personnel, the largest search operation ever conducted in Bell County, full tactical gear, advanced surveillance equipment, communication arrays with satellite uplink, everything we could bring to bear against whatever was waiting for us. We made contact at 11:47 hours. Contact. That's the word we're trained to use. It doesn't begin to describe what happened. The hollow was waiting for us, not passively. Actively, it had prepared for our arrival. It had arranged things for us to find. The first thing we found was the memorial. That's what I'm calling it. A memorial. A wall of photographs stretching across a rock face approximately 100 yards wide and 50 yards high. Thousands of photographs. Tens of thousands. Every person who had ever disappeared in an Appalachian hollow, going back to the earliest days of European settlement, documented and displayed like trophies, like a collection, being shown off. The photographs were organized, not randomly, categorized by date, by location, by family. The hollow had been keeping records, tracking its acquisitions, building a database of everyone it had ever taken, everyone it had ever consumed, everyone who had become part of whatever it was becoming. We found the Hendersons from Elkhorn. We found Daniel Morrison from Troublesome Creek. We found the 4 officers from Defeated Creek. We found the 19 missing from Guest River. All of them photographed, all of them catalogued, all of them smiling that same smile, the smile of people who had found something they'd been looking for their whole lives without knowing it. Then we found the living ones. That's when everything fell apart. They emerged from the trees, from the rocks, from the ground itself, hundreds of them, people who had been missing for decades, for generations, for longer than anyone had been keeping records. They looked human. They moved like humans. But their eyes were wrong. Their expressions were wrong. The way they coordinated, the way they moved as one organism distributed across hundreds of bodies, that was wrong. They didn't attack us. They welcomed us. They said they'd been waiting. They said the hollow had told them we were coming. They said it was time. They said the collection was almost complete. They said the door was almost ready. They started walking toward us, not threatening, inviting, reaching out with hands that had been human once, that still had human shapes, that gestured with human warmth and human kindness. Join us, they said, all of them the same words, the same moment. Join the collection, join the hollow, join what's coming. Some of my people went to them, walked forward like they couldn't help themselves, like something was pulling them, like they had been waiting their whole lives for this invitation without knowing it. They joined the crowd of the collected, turned around, and looked at the rest of us with those wrong eyes and those wrong smiles. We fell back, tried to retreat, but the hollow had closed behind us. The path we'd come in on wasn't there anymore. The terrain had shifted, changed, become something else entirely. We were trapped. We've been trapped for 12 hours now. We've lost 31 of our 47 personnel. Not to violence, not to combat. They just walked away. One by one, they stood up, they smiled that smile, and they walked into the hollow to join the collection. The 16 of us who remain are huddled in a clearing that seems stable, seems real, seems like it might be safe. But we know it's not. The hollow is patient. It's been collecting for centuries. It can wait a few more hours, a few more days, however long it takes for the last of us to hear the call. I can feel it now. The invitation, the promise. The hollow is whispering to me, showing me what it offers, showing me the peace of becoming part of something larger than myself. It would be so easy to accept. So easy to stop fighting. So easy to stand up and walk into the trees and let the hollow take me like it's taken everyone else. But I have to finish this transmission first. I have to warn whoever receives it. I have to make sure someone understands what's happening in these hollows, what's been building for generations, what's about to be unleashed. The door is almost ready. That's what the collected keep telling us. The door that the hollows have been building, feeding, preparing, since before humans arrived in these mountains. The door that requires a certain number of souls, a certain configuration of the collected, a certain completion of the pattern that the hollows have been weaving for millennia. We were the last pieces. Task Force Omega. 47 people carefully assembled, unknowingly completing the pattern. We weren't here to stop what was happening. We were here to finish it. The door is opening now. I can see it. In the sky above the hollow, where the stars should be, something else is appearing. A gap. A wound in reality. An entrance to somewhere that isn't part of any geography humans understand. Something is coming through. Something vast. Something that has been waiting on the other side of that door for longer than humanity has existed. Something that the hollows have been preparing to receive, feeding to grow strong enough to manifest, collecting souls to build a bridge between its reality and ours. This is the end of Task Force Omega. This is the end of the search for answers in the Appalachian Hollows. This is the beginning of something else. If you receive this transmission, do not look for us. Do not mourn us. Do not waste resources trying to understand what happened here. Just run. Run as far as you can, as fast as you can. The door is open. The collection is complete. And whatever is coming through, it's going to want more. It's always going to want more. The hollows were just the beginning. The whole world is about to become a collection. Mitchell out. End of transmission. No further communications received from Task Force Omega. All 47 personnel declared missing, presumed dead. Fern Lake Hollow designated as permanent no-entry zone. Status: ongoing containment failure. The hollows where search teams fear to go 5 hollows. Centuries of collection. One terrifying purpose. Number 5, Troublesome Creek Hollow, Breathitt County, Kentucky. Last search attempt, 2019. Team status: all members resigned or hospitalized. Missing persons recovered. 1 found but not extracted. Current status: permanently removed from search protocols. Entity type: collector consciousness, converts victims into willing members. Number 4, Elkhorn Hollow, McDowell County, West Virginia. Last search attempt 2021. Team status: 8 members survived, refused to return. Missing persons recovered. 4 emerged on their own, altered. Current status: no search operations permitted. Entity type: photograph collector maintains visual. Record of all acquisitions. Number 3, Defeated Creek Hollow, Letcher County, Kentucky. Last search attempt 2017. Team status: 1 survivor, non-communicative, 6 missing. Missing persons recovered. Unknown. Current status: closed to all access. Entity type: reality warping presence, erases victims from existence. Number 2, Guest River Hollow, Wise County, Virginia. Last search attempt 2022. Team status: 17 survivors, psychologically damaged, 7 missing. Missing persons recovered. 0. Current status: perimeter constant surveillance. Entity type: expanding territorial consciousness, growing beyond original boundaries. Estimated previous victims: 200 plus. Number 1, Fern Lake Hollow, Bell County, Kentucky. Last search attempt 2024. Task Force Omega. Team status: 0 survivors, 47 missing. Missing persons recovered. 0. Current status: catastrophic containment failure. Entity type: nexus point for all Appalachian Hollow activity. Door opened. Unknown entity emerged. Current threat level: extinction class. For generations the hollows have been collecting. People who entered and never returned. Souls that were absorbed into something vast and patient and incomprehensibly hungry. The search teams learned the truth the hard way. Some places don't want to be searched. Some things don't want to be found. Some hollows have been preparing for something that makes human concerns seem insignificant. The door is open now. The collection is complete. Whatever was waiting on the other side is here. And it's still hungry. It's always hungry.